The
Basilica of San Gregorio Maggiore was built astride the 11th and 12th centuries on the site of a primitive church and cemetery. According to tradition, the original building arose in honor of the Spoleto martyr Gregory, who was put to death in the nearby Roman amphitheatre. A white marble Plutus can be seen in the facade, reused as the architrave of the edifice-left portal, one of the most interesting early medieval sculptures of the Lombard period in the region. At the centre of the Plutus, a monogrammed cross stands out, flanked by two lions, vegetable motifs and peacocks. The basilica occupied a strategic position, especially with regard to access, not only by road, but also river. Because the church is situated close to a river, the Tesino, outside the Roman walls, but near a main city gate. In the Paleo-Christian period, around the 5th century, a place of worship and a cemetery had already sprung up around the venerated remains of the Spoleto martyr Gregory. Before that, in the Roman period, there probably was a villa. When the Lombards arrived around the end of the 6th century, they occupied this area, certainly not for the presence of the church, but for the presence of another structure much more interesting to a warrior people such as the Lombards. That is, the Roman amphitheatre. The Roman amphitheatre had already been occupied during the Gothic War by a military contingent of the Goths. This we know for a certainty through the ancient documentation. In fact, Procopius di Cesarea mentions it. And besides, it was quite common in ancient times to reoccupy Roman entertainment buildings because of their particular configuration, which lent itself, for example, to housing horse soldiers. And this probably happened also with the Lombards of Spoleto. We do not have any historical sources that mention the presence of the Lombards in the amphitheatre of Spoleto, but we do have archaeological documentation. In fact, archaeological excavations have revealed structures dating from the Lombard period for the reoccupation of the space of the amphitheatre. The district of San Gregorio is also strategically located in relation to another certainly Lombard district, Extra Moenia, or outside the walls of the Roman city, that is, the hill on which the church of San Salvatore is built. The occupation of the territory by Lombards largely replicated the pattern of earlier Roman settlements, by then largely in ruins or of abandoned pre-Roman sites on high ground. In an initial phase, the Lombards lived, even in the cities, in wooden huts, typical of the tradition of domestic culture, especially of Nordic and migrant populations. These were cabins even erected in the space of ancient Roman domus, which were not renovated, but used simply as containing spaces. Over time, the Lombards increasingly adopted the lifestyle of the subjugated ruling class, and new monumental forms of power representation appeared in the towns commissioned to local artists and highly skilled craftsmen. While in the beginning the style used imitated both the early Christian and Byzantine tradition, subsequently contamination with the Lombard spirit gave rise to new and original forms of expression.